The tents are still up more than a week after they first appeared on Columbia's campus. And tonight, we're getting a better understanding of negotiations between the school and demonstrators. Let's go to CBS 2's Allie Bauman at Columbia's campus now. Allie?
Christine, we heard today from one of the student protest negotiators who say they were in talks with the administration for 11 hours yesterday and continued those talks today. Both sides say they've made progress, but students insist they will not leave until all their demands are met. Among the Columbia student protesters inside this pro-Palestinian encampment is sophomore Ava Lyon-Sereno.
How I was raised was that to be Jewish means to know what it is to face oppression.
Steps away from the tent city, we found master's student Jonathan Swill praying for his friend Elan Ohel, who is among the 133 hostages being held by Hamas.
I believe that they have the right to protest. I disagree with by any means necessary, resist and protest by any means necessary, because canceling the graduation of 5,000 people is not a means that should be acceptable to anybody.
While final exams may be taken remotely because of the unrest, graduation preps are still underway. Student protesters say they will not leave until the university agrees to divest from companies which do business with the Israeli government.
Columbia has asked students to operate within the confines of bureaucratic red tape, with no assurances of binding divestment decisions if we end the encampment.
Outside the campus gates this morning, supporters of Israel rallied in solidarity with Jewish students and against anti-Semitism, while inside, Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez visited the encampment.
If there's anything that you want
Sources who were in today's meeting tell CBS 2 the Columbia Senate has voted to form an investigatory committee to look into University President Manoush Shafik, while Governor Hochul says she's working with law enforcement to monitor the situation on and around campus.
Free speech cannot devolve into threats of violence or violence.
And today, Congressman Mike Lawler and Richie Torres introduced legislation that would allow the Department of Education to impose a third-party anti-Semitism monitor on any university that receives federal funding. They've named it the Columbia Act. Christine?
Earlier this week, you reported that the university set a timeline for negotiations. Where does that stand?
Well, initially, the administration said they would continue talks until Friday morning, at which point they would consider alternative options for clearing that encampment. Clearly, that deadline has come and gone. The student protesters say they hope to return to the table sometime today without a deadline, unless, of course, you count graduation, which is supposed to take place on the same lawn where that encampment is. Christine?
Allie Bauman at Columbia campus. Allie, thank you. Police also, by the way, looking for a hate crime near Columbia that involved an Israeli flag. They say that this was one of the 3 suspects involved in last Saturday's attack. One of the suspects took someone's Israeli flag near Amsterdam Avenue and West 116th Street. And when the victim ran after the suspect, a second person threw a rock at the victim, and then a third person set the flag on fire. That victim suffered minor injuries. Do stay with CBS 2. We'll be following the campus protest movement and bring you the latest tonight on CBS 2 News at 11 and also all weekend long.